Greetings and thank you for tuning in to My Journey with Paula G. We'd like to thank our underwriters, the Good Actor Studio of Marietta, Georgia, my coffee shop at East Lake, Pastors Time International Bible College, Augusta, Georgia, with Dr. Paul and Marcia Kelly, Creekside Dental Incorporated of Douglasville, Georgia, Lusu Designs with Brandon Sampson of Maryland, Survival Radio Network and Clicks Photography by Clark Garrison, and Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Radio Network with Journey Was Live worldwide. We hope you enjoyed this presentation and tune in again. Embrace the journey with Paula G.
Thank you to LMB Tax Service, underwriters for My Journey with Paula G. LMB Tax Service is the premier company. LMB Tax Service offers information on the tax law changes, the most overlooked deductions, and what to bring to tax preparation. Thinking about setting up a business? LMB Tax Service provides information on the process. Visit LMB Tax Service at lbtaxservice.com for more information and for your tax service needs.
It's a praise party. We're gonna praise him all night long. It's a praise party. We don't know when we're going home. It's a praise party. We're gonna praise him all night long. It's a praise party. We don't know when we're going home.
Ain't got no worries, ain't got no stress. Opened my eyes and I knew I was blessed. Been a long week, whole lot of gloom. I need to dance, don't give me some room. Don't need nobody to wait up for me. I'm gonna dance till I get free. Yeah. Look at the devil, he's getting all excited. Somebody tell him he's not invited.
Praise party.
Yeah, we're gonna
Praise him all night long.
yeah, 'cause it's a praise party. We don't know.
When we're going home.
Yeah,
It's a praise party.
it's a praise party.
Praise him all night long.
It might be after midnight, I don't know.
Praise party.
Yeah, we don't know.
When we're going home.
I checked your name and you're on the list. Blessings are coming, the show won't miss. There are some things that we need to fix. Somebody homeless, somebody been sick. Lay down your purse, take off your shoes. God's been good, gotta spread the news. I see the devil, he's getting all excited. I thought I told him he's not invited. This is only for God's people.
Praise him all night long.
Yeah, 'cause it's a
Praise
we
party.
don't know what time.
Don't know when we're going home. Praise him on my left. Praise him on my right.
Yeah, come
I'm
on.
gonna praise him all through the
You ought to get up right now.
It's hard, I don't know.
I know it gets hard sometimes.
But I'm gonna praise him until
Somebody need a
I get
breakthrough
my
here.
breakthrough. You can't dance
Yeah.
in 3-inch heels.
Just tell the Lord.
Tell the Lord just how you feel.
Yeah.
Don't need nobody to wait up for me.
I'm gonna be home late tonight
Gonna dance until
till I get free. Listen. Yeah, 'cause it's a
praise party.
come on, let's praise him.
Praise him all night long.
Everything that happened. Come on and praise his name.
Know when we're going home.
Yeah, it's a
Praise
you
party.
ought to lift your hands right there.
Welcome to My Journey with Paula G, where we juggle this journey called life while walking out our God-given purpose. I am so glad that you all are joining us for another episode as we continue to bring you episodes from the Atlanta, Georgia area. And today, our episode is one that is really exciting and I know that you will enjoy. But I have to thank my team here in Atlanta for making it all happen, and especially today, Mr. Nick Starr, that Starr with 2 R's, for being here today and making this happen for us. We are so incredibly excited. He and his wife provide a platform for young people, Young Voices United, if you're in the Atlanta area. They provide a platform for young people to come and explore their God-given gifts. You know, Miles Monroe said the richest place on the planet is the cemetery, because so many people go to their graves not having utilized the gifts that God has given them. We encourage you to utilize the gifts that God has given you. So thank you so much to this Atlanta team as we continue to bring you episodes right here from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, you know, I start each episode with a gem from one of the jewels that is on this journey with us. And today's gem comes from Mr. Kingsley Saki. And his gem is one of his favorite scriptures. Have I not commanded thee, be strong, and of good courage, be not afraid. Neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with you wherever you go. And I know that blessed somebody. That blessed somebody today. Well, today, I'm pleased to bring you my guest today. He professed his faith at the age of 17. He is a proud native of Liberia, West Africa. He is the son of Reverend Jellicoe Bright, retired Episcopal priest, and Mrs. Eliatha K. Bright, a former 14th Episcopal District President. He received his high school diploma from the College of West Africa, the high school division. He received his Bachelor's of Theology degree with honors from the Liberia Baptist Theological Seminary. He received his Master's of Divinity in Theology and Homiletics, said that right, and a Doctor of Ministry degree from Turner Theological Seminary at the Interdenominational Theological Center in Atlanta, Georgia. He is married to Mrs. Rita Williams Bright. They have 2 beautiful children, Tarue Richard Allen Bright Jr. and Taretta Bright. He served for 15 years as the executive pastor under the tutelage of the late Reverend Dr. Kenneth E. Marcus, beloved pastor of Turner Chapel AME Church in Marietta, Georgia. He has challenged his congregation to awaken the fire to make a difference. Yes, he's an avid runner. He's an avid golfer. He is senior pastor of Turner Chapel African Methodist Episcopal Church of Marietta, Georgia. He is Reverend Dr. Tarue Richard Allen Bright. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Paula G. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here.
I am happy that you're here, and I'm honored that you're here because you just came off a long
journey from Trinity.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about that in the second half, but I really appreciate you being here.
And I appreciate you coming
and thinking it's not robbery. You have had quite a journey.
Yes.
To what brought you here. You know, we've heard the song, If I Look Back Over My Life, and I think things over.
Yeah.
As you look back over your life, take us back a bit to the Civil War. You mentioned that one time from the pulpit, and being a refugee. Kind of share with us a little bit of your journey.
Again, I say thank you for having me. I have had quite a journey in my life. I grew up, my mom on Gertie Street. Gertie Street was notorious for drugs and prostitution and all of that. It's almost like anything good come out of Gertie Street. And my mom was able to nurture us in that environment, still loving God. And then I moved with my dad and grew up later on with my father. But then, Civil War came to Liberia. I'm from West Africa, Liberia. We have 14 years of one of the most brutal civil crises anybody have ever seen. Destruction, loss of lives and property, just all over the place. And in the midst of that, I was displaced, my siblings and I. My parents,
together or separate?
we were separate. Sometimes we were together, but most of the time we were separate. Displaced for so many months, and then I became a refugee in Ghana for about 6 months. There's a refugee camp in Ghana called Budubora, and I stayed there for more than 6 months as a refugee, and then I'm coming back home. And so, having lost everything, having experienced death in my family because of civil crisis, having seen that once we were described as the darkest part of the dark continent, Africa, and having seen how God has turned it around. He said, I know the plans that I have for you. You know, plans to bless you, to prosper you, to give you hope in the future, and see what God has taken me from. Every time I talk about it, I get so excited because I know that God is in the blessing business. I know that God is able to turn things around. I know that if God could do it for me, God can do it for anybody. It doesn't matter where your situation, what situation you find yourself in. Just believe that God is able. Listen, Jesus said, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He said, but I come that you may have life. And not just any kind of life, but life more abundantly. And that's why I continue to encourage people that God wants to give an abundant life. And normally the enemy knows that. And so he would try to do everything and anything to derail that abundant life that God has for you. But if you trust God, if you have faith in God, one day you will look back over your life like how I'm looking back over my life now, and you will have every reason to bless God because you will say, God, look at what you've done for me.
And what you brought me through.
Where you brought me through, look where you placed me. He will always put you on a solid rock to stand because that's who God is. And that's what God wants to do for us. If God can do it for a young man from West Africa, from Liberia, a country torn apart by civil crisis, bring him to the United States of America, bring him to Georgia where he did not know anybody. And
you came here not knowing.
I came to school. I came to Turner Seminary at the Interdenominational Theological Center, and my wife and I were together. In fact, we just visited Turner Chapel, and we fell in love with it. And in 20 years, from a visitor who joined a couple of months after that, I'm the senior pastor today. What are you doing?
Won't he do it? From where he brought you from to where you are today. And you mentioned your wife. And if I'm not mistaken, you were what we would call here in America high school sweethearts.
High school sweetheart. We met in high school. We were freshmen. It was a boarding school, a vocational school. You had to do 4 years, so we were freshmen. And I wasn't saved. She was saved. And she got up to sing this song. I never forget, Lady for Jesus. And as she was singing, something in me. I wasn't saved, I would go to church.
Right. But
something in me said, that's your wife.
They say when a man knows, a man knows when a man knows. So you just saw her, she was singing and it just...
She was singing in the choir and I looked at her and something quickened in my spirit.
Quickened?
Yeah. And I said, but it took me a couple of months to introduce myself to her.
Yes.
And then I thought she didn't like me. But when I introduced myself, what I did not know was she started checking me out.
She was checking you out.
And we've been married for 24 years. October 7th will make us 25 years. 2 beautiful children, Paula G, he's 17, a rising senior, and my daughter Torita, is a rising sophomore, she's 15. And we love each other today, like the day we first met each other.
So I always ask this question whenever I see a married couple with a strong marriage. I always ask, what do you feel are the keys to success for a successful marriage? Because our marriages are under attack, our relationships are under attack, and I always like to provide something for the audience to help encourage them, whether their marriage is a strong marriage or it's a marriage that maybe is a bit shaky. Can you share something with the audience, some things with the audience as to keys to successful relationship, or what you feel is successful?
Well, love alone will not just keep a relationship going. You got to love God first.
Oh, did y'all hear that?
You got to love God. You got to love God. Love your spouse. But I realized that every time we have a tension in our marriage, something goes wrong, I ask myself, what could I have done differently in order to have helped this situation not to go as far as it went?
Right. So we have to have that conversation with ourselves.
With ourselves. I ask myself that all the time. You know, it's not was I right or wrong, but what could I have said differently? What could I have done differently that would have helped this situation? And then I'm never too big to say I'm sorry. You know, I've learned a long time ago that the strength of your relationship always is dependent upon, predicated upon you overcoming one obstacle. Every time you overcome one, it gets stronger. Every time you overcome one, it gets stronger. You build on that. You build the foundation. And then there's another thing. You know, my wife, I'll come home because, you know, we all grew up in different environments and all of that. So I'll come home and I'll see something wrong or something like, maybe, you know. And I'll say, why you didn't move this or why you didn't do it? And she would say, if your finger needs to be moved, you move it. If your finger needs to be corrected, you correct it. Don't wait for me to correct it. Because I'm not your maid.
Right. Oh, she just tells you right.
I'm your wife.
She just tells you right out.
And so many things that I have learned growing up, thinking this is how a wife ought to behave, this is how a wife ought to do. I had to change that. I had to renew my mind. Because then when I come home and I see that the dishes were not washed and it's still in the sink, instead of me telling my wife, why you didn't clean the house or why you didn't wash the dishes, I'll go right ahead and do it. If it bothers me enough, I do it. And now, sometimes it doesn't bother me anymore. Sometimes I just let it go. Hey, you know?
Right. 25 years later.
Yeah, you know, it's all good.
What do you feel? Share with us with your life experiences and the journey that you have come through, being from Liberia, experiencing the Civil War, coming to the U.S. and acquiring education, just a phenomenal education. Share with us in that journey, what are some of the elements that you feel have made you the man that you are today? The resilience, the patience, determination. What are some things that you feel have impacted you over those years? If you could look back at some of the experiences.
I would say some of the things that we put so much emphasis on, they're not as important in terms of material things. I've learned that it doesn't matter what the enemy does to you. What matters is that God is on your side.
Say that again. Doesn't matter
what the enemy does. What matters is that God is with you. And so, because I've gone through all of that, I look at life differently. Every morning that I get up, I'm glad. Because so many people, young men my age, got killed. Something happened to them because of the civil crisis. For some reason, he said, I'll send ministering angels. I'll put a fence all around you. And so, coming to the States, I see things differently.
Your perspective is different.
It's different. It has changed. It has changed, you know, to the point wherein if I'm driving and my car breaks down, I'm going to get upset. Because there was a time I never owned a car in my first place. I praise God that I could say I got a car that could break down. Because there was a time nothing could break down because I didn't have
a car. So praise God for the car that's broken down.
Praise God for that. You know.
Wow.
And so those are some of the things that you look at. You put premium on relationships. You love people. Because at the end of the day, when everything is taken away, it's the love that you have for people. And so I laugh. People don't understand why I laugh a lot. I laugh so much because I love life, and I love people, and I love to make people laugh, and I love for people to make me laugh, and I love a good laugh.
A good laugh.
When you feel so beaten that you cannot sing, and you feel so broken that you cannot breathe, and you feel so heavy that you cannot see. Oh, I'll be right there with you, just to see you through. And when you feel so beaten, like you'll never rise, and you feel so empty that it hurts your pride, and you feel so lost, like you can't be found. Oh, I'll be right there with you, just to see you through, 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 just to see you through.
I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter into tears and pain. It's that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Hate's
its possessions, and it will, if we let it, destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures. If love and peace you treasure, then you'll hear me when I say, oh, that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Hate's going round, breaking many hearts. We need to stop. Stop it, please. Before it's gone too far. Love's in need. Love today. Don't delay. Send it in right. Oh, hate's going round, breaking many hearts. We need to stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Love's in need. Don't delay.
Greetings and thank you for tuning in to My Journey with Paula G. We'd like to thank our underwriters, the Good Actors Studio of Marietta, Georgia, my coffee shop at East Lake, Pastor's Time International Bible College, Augusta, Georgia, with Dr. Paul and Marcia Kelly, Creekside Dental Incorporated of Douglasville, Georgia, Lusu Designs with Brandon Sampson of Maryland, Survival Radio Network and Clicks Photography by Clark Garrison, and Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Radio Network with Journey Was Live worldwide. We hope you enjoyed this presentation and tune in again. Embrace the journey with Paula G.